When you were looking for childcare, what are some things that stood out for you?
Because we went to certain places and he would not even get out of our laps.
So we're not crying on this podcast, okay?
Because what happens later on, which I experienced, is that burnout for being in school for so long.
So what would you say for parents who are hesitant to begin, childcare?
Every big discovery starts with a closer look. This is Magnify Child Care, presented by Academic Explorers. Guided by our promise to put the child first, we are zooming in on what makes these early years so important. Sharing the stories that shape us, focusing on what matters most. Let's start exploring.
Welcome to Magnify Child Care, a podcast for parents and providers. We are your hosts, Rochelle and Gaelle.
Hi.
And today we have a special guest, one of our very own Academic Explorers parents, Racquel.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are
First
you?
of all, I'm loving this outfit.
Yes.
Loving this.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You match the weather outside.
Yes.
It's very sunny.
Beautiful. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in education for about 14 years. I'm an educational advocate. I've taught all grades 5 through 12, a GED program. So I've seen like the gamut of what happens to kids after they get into schools.
Mm-hmm.
But usually when they're older. Having a child is a little bit different because I didn't have much experience with the younger grades. I knew what to expect once they got a little bit older. So I try to use some of the things that I knew when knew as an educator to help me just guide the process in terms of finding a school, finding what's the best fit, and trying to figure out what works best for my son. So yeah, I mean, I'm a mom first now, right? An educator second, but I think as a parent, you're just an educator in general.
Right.
So, just really just trying to see how do we kind of just juxtapose the two things together and figure out how do I make it make sense in a way where it's just like, okay, I'm not too much of an educator, but also still wear my mom hat at the same time.
And that's a big hat to wear. Mom hat.
Mm-hmm. So different.
Very much.
Yeah. Is your child your firstborn?
My one and only. That's the baby boy, my one and only son.
How old is he?
He is 4. He turned 4 in February, so he's been at Academic Explorers since he was 3. So his first 2 years, he stayed home. So it was really important for us to find somewhere that we were comfortable. His dad and I felt comfortable leaving him because he did stay home with his dad. And, it was tough to kind of say, okay, it's time for him to go. But it was important for us to find somewhere where he could have some peers and then also push him a little bit more. And so he could see other faces.
Yeah. And that was what question I was going to ask. Like, when you were looking for childcare, what are some things that stood out for you that you wanted for your son?
I wanted him to have friends outside of mommy and daddy.
Even though those are the best friends, we will always be there for you.
Right.
I definitely wanted him to have friends. I thought it was important that he had a space that felt comfortable for him. I was touring like I was looking for college.
Yeah, as you should.
So we toured so many schools. So of course, price is something that was important for us, that it wasn't an arm, leg, and a toe, right? But also somewhere that he felt comfortable. Miss Rochelle was there, and it was, thank God she was there, because we went to certain places and he would not even get out of our laps. And, he would cry just on walking. That's just the type of child that he is. The energy. He picks up on energy. Like if he does not feel safe, he will not be there at all. So one of the biggest things that stuck out to me, even though, of course, there are pros and cons everywhere you go, one of the biggest things that stuck out for me is that he held Miss Rochelle's hand and walked with her. He gave her a hug on the first walk-in. So that was something that was big for me. And that really is what made the decision for us. Because
we're not crying on this podcast, okay? Because there's no tissues on the table.
It was. I mean, of course, there are bigger spaces. Again, everywhere has their pros and their cons. And there were some other, great contenders that we were interested in. There was actually one that academically I felt like, okay, this might push him a little bit more. But the fact that he felt so comfortable with you, that was the selling point right there. It wasn't even a discussion after we left because of how he felt when you were there.
Absolutely. So your first choice and only choice.
The only.
Right. So speaking of that, did you have a little bit of separation anxiety?
Actually, I mean, the first day of school is nerve-wracking just in general, where, you know, you're leaving your child in the care of someone else.
Yeah.
But again, just understanding that when you walked in, it was, "Hi, Harrison." Like,
Yeah.
everyone, they knew his name. It wasn't an intimidating space. All of the kids there were super inviting. The teachers, they call him, "Oh, that's my baby." So even with that, the transition didn't seem so bad. And then also knowing that we were getting pictures all day, we were getting updated, and he was excited about school. He's still excited about school, you know? So, like, that's a big deal for me, where it's just, especially when you're putting a child in school this early and they're in school up until college.
Right.
You don't want them at hello to hate going to school. You don't want their first impression to be, "Oh my goodness, you sent me here again."
Yeah.
Because what happens later on, which I experienced, is that burnout from being in school for so long. So
Yeah.
that was my biggest fear, was if you put them in school early, he's going to hate school. He's not going to want to go. But that definitely wasn't the case. It hasn't been the case.
I was telling the management team how he likes to watch the Instagram video on the way to school.
Yes. All your views come from my child.
Love it. Shout out Harrison.
When he doesn't come to school, he wants to make sure he's not being left out. So he'll watch the video. I don't know what it is, but he watches Racquel all the time. And he'll watch, like, "Welcome to Academic Explorers." Like, I could almost recite.
You're going to be in the next video.
Too many. I can almost recite what the introduction videos are to each of the locations because he watches them so much.
Aww.
Then, like, the viral, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Like, that one he watches all the time. The Christmas ones he watches all the time. So when he's not at school, he misses being at school. He asks, "Mommy, can I watch my school in the car?" So he watches the videos every day on his way to school.
The love. It's like we're his second family. I love that for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it shows a level of just emotional support. I know as parents, we want the academics, want stuff, but we want them to feel socially accepted, valued, the trust, the love, and that just grows. And it just gives parents a peace of mind to have that.
Right, and then, you know, I mean, his dad and I were very much so involved, too.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that's super important. The doors aren't closed to us. So I never feel like I can't walk in and have a conversation with somebody about something, good, bad, or indifferent. I know all the teachers by name. They know whose child is mine. I don't feel like a stranger walking in. Like, the kids who... I probably don't even know some of their parents, but their parents, I know your child.
Yeah.
Like, when the holidays come around, we buy something for everyone just because we understand that it's a labor of love working in the school, especially me being in the school myself. And it's super important that the people who take care of your kids, they understand that you care about them too, because it does pour out into the children too. So again, like, we probably run our mouth the most. Like, drop-offs take forever. My child has already kissed me, went inside, and then I'm like, hey, how you doing? Where's the baby? Come on and see this one. But, like, I wouldn't say friends because it's never like a line cross, but, like, it feels very comfortable to have conversations, and it's human. It's not like a business where, okay, in and out. Like, we know, like, I knew when Miss Alyssa's birthday was, like, things like that. So those are things that are important for me because while it is a business, it's a business of people. And there has to be a level of humanity that exists there. So wanting to have conversations and the staff being willing to have conversations beyond good morning and keeping it pushing, that's always nice to have.
Absolutely. So with that being said, what would you say for parents who are hesitant to begin, childcare?
Send them away.
To here.
Send them. But you have to do what feels comfortable for you, because truly, if you're not comfortable with it, don't. Because you have to be able to trust the people that are going to take care of your kids. And if you're not in a space where you feel comfortable enough to do that, don't do it until you're ready, because there is a certain level of, all right, I have to release at this point that you're going to have to let go. Allow them to do their jobs. Allow them to work in the best interest of your kids. Don't keep the foot on the neck. You still be a parent, but still understand that, you have to trust someone else to parent your child for however many hours it is that you decide to keep them. And it's really nice that you guys have, like, a flexible schedule where it's just like, you have full day, half day. So whatever you feel comfortable with, whether you're sending them for 3 days, 2 days, I think it's important that you do something like that even if it's just to warm yourself up, but you'll see that your kid will tell you, Mommy, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned the flexibility, all the amazing stuff that we have. How are you mentally preparing yourself for a different environment, a different possible schedules, it's a different dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
How are you preparing yourself and your child for that?
I think first things first is preparing him.
Mm-hmm.
He's been asking me if he's going to big boy school, and he's been telling me that he's not ready to go to big boy school. So I've never introduced the idea to him, so I guess it's something that they're speaking about in class a little bit. So that's nice to know that there's that support where the conversations are beginning to be had. So he's curious about school, and I think the curiosity is what is going to help me prepare myself and prepare him to figure out what it is that he needs. I think academically he's ready. In most school districts, they don't necessarily. My son turned 4 in February, but usually the cutoff is December. So like they have to take a test. There's different things that different districts require of the kids to see if they are prepared. I do believe that my son is more than prepared for school. I think that all the benchmarks that he's supposed to reach once he enters school, they will be reached. But it's just a matter of, I think, emotionally, he loves his teacher, Miss Magley. He loves you. That is his girl. So I think that for him, it's what is this new environment going to be like for me? But I do also think that he could theoretically spend one more year there, but I do want to pull him really because the class sizes are small and it was perfect for him then. But I do want him to be exposed to a bigger class size because he'll be in pre-K. So he's 3K now, he'll be in pre-K then. So before he gets into kindergarten, I would want him to be exposed to a larger class setting before kindergarten and things really start counting and mattering.
Right. So I know earlier you mentioned how you used to work in a public school setting. So how important is early childhood education before kindergarten? You
have to. The expectation is that they know everything, essentially. And especially as Black and brown kids, where children are easily, they're given IEPs or easily labeled. You want to make sure that your child has a leg up in the very beginning, because the small things that they know, my son can count to 25 in Spanish, right?
I stop at 8? Uno, dos, tres.
Right.
8 I stop at.
He can and not only that, he can recognize the language. Even if he doesn't know what's being said, he'll say, okay, Mommy, that's in Spanish. So he knows a lot for his age. And I think that's going to give him the confidence, because he's a shy kid. But I do believe the knowledge that he has is going to give him the confidence when he's in a larger class.
Where do you get the shyness from? Because it's not Mommy or Daddy.
No. He's very, very shy. So, I'm excited for him to start school because I think that it's going to help him build his confidence to say, oh, I already know this. Because he's the type of kid, which most kids are, if I don't know it, usually I shut down. And especially with our little boys, we see that often where when things get hard or if it doesn't come easy for them, it's one of those situations where that must mean I can't do it. So just the idea that, you started off and this felt simple and now you're walking into a situation where he's going to be amongst kids who probably didn't go to school. And I love that for him. I love the fact that he's going to go in and he's going to say, oh, no, I know that. He knows routine. So not just academics, but he understands I have to stand in a line. He knows that there's different times for different things. There's different centers for different things. He knows all of he knows the solar system. Like small things that seem like meaningless at times, it helps. And so I don't think that parents should take for granted the idea of sending their kids to school prior to kindergarten, because they expect, if you're not going to send them, I hope you're at home teaching them.
Because parents are definitely a child's first teacher.
So we have this thing called AEA Plus. So each week on our podcast, we're going to either mention a specific location, a committee, a teacher, somebody that stands out to you and that deserves an A plus. So who would be your AEA Plus?
Can I give it to the whole pre-K class?
Yes.
Yes, Miss Gisela, Miss Magali, Miss Sandy. Thank you so much. Harrison has grown so much. Matter of fact, the entire Merrick location, because at the end of the day, it's the community that really supports the child. So I know that when I go in there, I'm going to see Abuela. I'm going to see Miss Alyssa, Miss D, Miss Afrina, Miss Marie. All of you guys, who am I missing? Oh, Miss Merlin and Miss Dina. And Mr. Josh, every so often when he pops up, like I said, it's a community of people who work together. So it's, well, yes, pre-K class is the best. I just want to definitely give, what is it, AEA plus? AEA plus to the whole Merrick Center, because I'm very appreciative. You guys see how you guys are working hard. You guys are pushing yourselves. You guys are growing. The decorations. You missed it. The Valentine's Day dance.
I love that.
But they did such a really good job, and I could see that, you know, they're committed to the kids, and it's appreciated. Like, I don't know. Harrison's dad and I, we definitely try our best to show you guys that we're appreciative of everything that you guys do. But, like, please, the AEA plus to the whole Merrick location.
Okay. And we appreciate you for entrusting us with the most prized possession.
Yes.
Thank you.
Baby.
And thank you for being here today. We really do appreciate it.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Magnify Child Care.
Bye.
Tell them to put the notifications on.
Oh, swipe up. Subscribe.
Yes.
It's a swipe up.
Bye.
On the next episode,
In getting ready for today's episode, I figured that we should talk about a really important subject, which is different modalities of care.
Or just even the whole process, that it may be easier to do a home-based daycare than a center-based.
That was my question.
It's definitely easier to open up